sharing stories about my journey on the human security, and based on what we've been doing in trying to get these human security concepts into the work we do with our governments, with NGOs and stakeholders, and the journey of Vois Blong. First, Vois Blong Solomon is a NGO women's media organization that was established as a post-conflict initiative by women of Solomon Islands. So they realized that there was an important need for more relevant and timely information that would enable them to make informed choices about their development, that of their families, and the nation. So we saw the birth of Vois Blong, and we've always seen ourselves as a peace initiative from a post-conflict country, and also implementing Beijing Section J, Women in Media in Solomon Islands. So that's where I'm coming from. During the tension in Solomon Islands, before and after Vois was established, so we were working on producing radio programs, media networks, getting information. And that was during this period, working with Women for Peace and helping them to advocate peace agreement with government, and that was when we caught up with someone by the name of Sharon during the lead up to the elections in Solomon Islands, and prior to that also in how we could collaborate and work with our family Pacific under the Pacific Women's Media Initiative on 1325 UN resolution, and that was how the journey started. We have never regretted the day that we've agreed to work with Family Pacific, because it has made the work of women looking at issues for women from a human security perspective more clearer and more highlighting that peace is not just an absence of war, but it is when you are dealing with human security issues. And human rights principles are used to define the human security issues. And as you know, human rights include the right to development, which are essential components to human security. I learned during the time that economic security was my financial security by having a stable income, other resources that would support a woman's living in Solomon Islands, a secured employment, how to manage the family's money and savings, and to be assured that they have basic income throughout their various work. Well, I learned that and others know, and how to access it. And if I didn't access it, what would the impact on me as a woman of Solomon Islands? I learned that health security was important to me as well, that I had to be protected from all the diseases and have access to a healthy lifestyle, etc. I also learned that human security was about food security. I was having food that was available and accessible, that I'm not hungry, and that there is food sufficient for all, and goes beyond my home into the national frameworks as well. I also learned that environment security was, when there was lack of access to clean water, it would be a very greatest environmental threat to my life and that of my family. And global warming and its impact was deteriorating the humans of their natural environment. I learned this through the human security, looking at peace from a human security perspective. I learned also that my personal security was important when I was safe and protected from physical violence or threats such as domestic violence or other criminal activities were happening. And I learned that in Solomon Islands today, women's personal securities, especially in the border areas of Solomon Islands, are living in fear again because of arms in their communities and are not going to gardens, and that affects their food security and other economic activities. I learned also that human security was about community security. It was about when my gender or my ethnicity is threatened by more powerful entities and how we organize ourselves in communities and the leadership and all. I learned all these things, and finally, I also learned that one of the pillars of human security was the political security that I needed, that my democratic government protects me, my human rights, and upholds it, that it implements CEDAW and recognizes CEDAW. I learned that when the state respects my basic right and when people honor their basic rights. I also learned how to relate to why intervention status Ramsey is taking place in Solomon Islands, and how I had to live with it and work with it to make it work for peace in my country. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a story about what has helped me to understand what human security was all about, and how it had helped me as a woman of Solomon Islands to continue my advocacy for human security in Solomon Islands. Vois, since our collaboration with family, we have acquired capacity and knowledge and skills to do advocacy and lobbying for 1325 in our own countries, and to influence the Pacific Women's Security Plan of Action. And it was during those years that FemLink involved us, including bringing our government officials with us to meetings such as this, to really understand what human security was all about. And I think it's because of that, Sharon, that Solomon Islands is one of the first countries to have a national action plan that was based from adopted from the regional action plan today. And the plan is there. Actually, we are on the task force of the WPS National Action Plan for Solomon Islands. It's been reviewed, and what's happened now is they're getting on all the other sectors to fully complete the plan as it is, and then we're just waiting for our technical assistance, because that's what we're lacking at the moment. The government officials told me they have the resources, but it's a technical assistance that we need. So maybe around the room now we could help Solomon Islands. Okay, because of the human security advocacy that FemLink has supported Vois as an NGO organized in Solomon Islands, we were able to work with governments, NGOs, to advocate for 1325. And Vois is known as 1325 when they see us around. It's 1325, Women, Peace and Security. And we have been invited by government ministries, NGOs, and the media to do presentations on what is human security. What is 1325? And we have people who are very supportive of the idea and what human security is, and who would need to know. Actually, right now, as we're speaking here, 2 of my staff left on Saturday night on the boat to go to Choiseul in the borders of Solomon Islands to speak to 3,000 women from the United Church, big annual gathering, 3,000 women, and we've prepared the presentation to include human security. And that is how they're going to do their opening statement and link to the issues of women. And this is what we gained from being aligned to FemLink, who's helped us advocate for women to look at peace and to look at security from from a gender lens, and to see peace as from a human security perspective. Okay, we have also used this as peace, as we know that leadership is an important area for human security in politics and in whatever leadership we're having. So Vois has in the past been working with other organizations, the government, the Ministry for Women, and also the UN Women on a project called Strong in Mary. And we were able to train 9 women who are now, they're called transformational leadership trainers in Solomon Islands, from the 9 provinces of Solomon Islands, including Vois staff. And we were able to conduct 4 transformational leadership training for candidates who ran in the last elections, women and political leaders. And there was components of human security on all those trainings, and that's why we use those opportunities to advocate for people to realize that peace is not just an absence of war or war, but it is in our daily living. We exercise peace through our education, through our health, through the environment, how it influences our life every day. So we use those opportunities to advocate that. And the transformational leadership training highlighted areas which other organizations have contacted Vois to also conduct training for them, but we don't have the capacity. There's not enough, but it's something that we are looking towards later. Yeah. So yeah, I've been want to speak slowly, but what I'm saying is my lessons learned from working on human security is to be able to influence and advocate and lobby for governments to recognize human security as an important area for development in every country, whether it's SDG or MDGs or what. And for our network, I was honored to be able to represent the NGOs at the Geneva conference. And again, during the lunch hour sessions with the NGO, I was pulled aside by the CEDAW committees, especially to talk about human security in Solomon Islands. And it's in the concluding remarks, outcome statements, that the government must endorse and support CEDAW in Solomon Islands, including all its other relevant solutions. It's in the concluding remarks to our state of Solomon Islands. And this is an achievement for our network. And I have some recommendations here, but I can speak on that during our other training, but I'm just sharing my lessons and the achievements and what we have gained out of this network. Thank you.